Hey everybody, Andy here. So after spending a day messing with this, I wanted to do a quick video on how to adjust your headlights on a BMW K1600. So let's take a look. Basically this all started when I added some new high beam lights. I added some Sylvania Silver Star Ultras, which you can see in there with the gold tip. And they were literally signaling UFOs in outer space. They were way too high. So I looked in the manual, and although it wasn't clear, I did find some ways to adjust the height of the headlights. But then you have an issue with the main headlight here, differing from the height of the high beams. So I got some help from the forums, and I'll give credit to those people in a minute. I'm just going to show you the different switches and knobs where we adjust the high beams. Forgive me if this video is lacking some professionalism. I am working by myself with my own lighting. Any case, over here on the right side of your bike, you don't even need to take off the fairing, although you can see that I have taken off some of the fairing. Right in here, right next to your flap, you will see a little screw. Do you see it right there? Right there. That. See that screw right there, center screen? That little Torque screw? That controls the height of your high beam. I believe it's counterclockwise for up and clockwise for down. I may correct that later. But essentially you can put a Torque screwdriver in there and your whole headlight assembly, both the high beams and the low beams, will go up and down. Now, to adjust the difference between your high beams and your low beams, which is exactly what I need to do. I could put my high beams in my whole light kit higher, but I needed the low beam to go a little higher to match with the high beam. That is right in there. If you can see, there's a little knob. There's that knob right there, right center screen. There's a knob there. Now, very difficult to get your fingers in there. You can see that little knob right there, right in the center of the screen. But that's going to change the height, the difference between the height of your low beams and your high beams, which is critical because your high beams may be really high, but your low beams are fine. This will help. Now, I was not able to really get my hands in there very well, but I was able to get a number 13, rather 13 millimeter wrench on that thing and torque it a few times, and it works pretty quick. So that was the secret prize right there, which I have to credit the forums for giving me that answer, and I'll come back and give named credit to the person who gave me that answer. Now over here on the right side of the bike, and you can see I've got the covers off here because I've changed out my high beams. That's how you get to your high beams right there. You just take off these speakers and take off the speaker cowling. It's 2 screws, and take out the speakers and you can get right to it. It's literally a 10-minute job, but right there, you can see that little knob. You see that knob right there, right in the center of the screen? That changes the lateral direction, or the right-left direction of the beams. I really have to tell you, I messed with this thing to no end. I must have torqued it right and left 100 times. I had a really hard time telling the difference with it. So I would advise you not mess with that unless you really have a big problem. Mine's a little out of whack now. I have no idea, right, left, whatever, but essentially that will control the right and left. So that's it, folks. That's how you change the direction and height of your high beams and low beams. I will credit that there is a K1600 forum that has all of this information on it. Now you have a video that goes with that. So I'd also just like to take a moment to credit Christopher Beck from the BMW MOA group. He was the one that pointed out exactly how to get to that second key screw, and that was getting the high beam and the low beam to come closer together. And that was around here on the left side of your bike. Down here you have the headlight adjustment screw right there, the main height adjustment. And in here, I dropped my flashlight, but and in here, in that same side, right in there where my finger is pointing, that knob right there is how you bring the high beams and the low beams together, or closer together, which is critical when you're putting in new high beam bulbs. One last thing, I'll be posting a picture of the diagram of all this stuff from the BMW manual and adding it right here into the end of the video to make it easier for you guys to find those knobs. I hope this helps some of you guys out there who are adding high beam lights. Adjust your high beams and your low beams. Thanks for watching.